Civil War is the new movie out this week. It is directed by Alex Garland. I just recently reviewed Ex Machina, which was the first movie he ever did. He also did Men, Annihilation. There's one more I think that I'm forgetting and I can't remember. And you know what? That's fine. No, that's all of them, isn't it? I don't know. Anyways, this is his new movie. It is about photojournalists, I guess you'd say, that are taking pictures during a time in which the country is in a civil war. And it's kind of a road trip movie, I guess. They're starting in New York and heading to D.C. to essentially see the president. And yeah, things kind of go from there. This is a movie that some people I don't think are going to like. Because it's not really it is a war movie. But it's not a war movie like most people I think are thinking. And I think the trailers kind of are advertising this in a way that people are going to misunderstand that it's not a war movie per se. This is very much a movie, it's about journalists. It's about photographer journalists. There's no sides to this movie. It is just journalists taking photos of what's happening and not really having opinions of anything. It's just boom. We don't know why the world or why the country is in civil war. We don't know necessarily who are the good guys, who are the bad guys per se. We are just following these photographers. And that's really about it. Obviously, there's war-related things that happen in this movie, but they are from the perspective of photographers. So I think that's something that a lot of people might be a little not sure about. That's not your typical movie in the sense that there's good guys and bad guys. There's just main characters that we follow that have no opinions, that are just taking pictures of things that happen. As I was watching this movie, the first thing that came to my mind is this is like Nightcrawler. There are things that these people are taking photos of that are they're right in the middle of something that you're like, that's like not cool to be taking pictures of. But that is their job. That is what they do. And, you think of, all photos that we've seen in history of time. All of those photos are things that in that moment you're like, ugh. But then you look at it and you go, oh, that's just capturing an event. But, it does a really good job of showing, ugh. There's just a couple moments that as you're watching, you're just like, this doesn't feel right. And it does feel very Nightcrawler-y in the sense that they're taking photos of things that they, shouldn't be in a sense. So that's really interesting. The characters in this are all very interesting. There's essentially 4 leads of this, and they're all very interesting characters. You learn enough about them that you like them, or you're uneasy about them for various different reasons. The cinematography in this is absolutely wonderful. All of Alex Garland's movies look great. All of them have beautiful shots and such like that. This one is no exception. I mean, it is phenomenally shot. Phenomenally. I don't know. It's shot wonderfully. Acting is really great, like I said. It is a road trip movie at the end of the day, so it is kind of one of those things where they stop in a place, something happens, they keep going, stop in a place, something happens. So it's kind of one of those. So it does kind of feel repetitive in a sense, I will say. And I didn't have issues with the fact that this wasn't a war movie, I guess because I don't really watch trailers. I try not to. I did see this trailer like once or twice, I think. And I thought, it's going to be an Alex Garland movie. That's all I care about. And everything that everything the trailers are showing is like in the movie. It's just not big battle war sequence. It's more of just this thing is happening and these journalists are taking photos of it. that's really what it is. So for me, I didn't have too much of a problem with it. Some of the things I did have issues with, though. There's a character in this movie who's very calm and collected throughout the entire time. Towards the end of the movie, they all of a sudden get freaked out. And there's no particular thing that happens, I don't think, where they're just all of a sudden freaked out. They're just all of a sudden freaked out. And then 5 minutes later, they're all of a sudden not freaked out anymore. And it was weird. It was like maybe a couple scenes were missing or something, where this character all of a sudden had PTSD, and then all of a sudden it's just like gone. So that was something interesting. The ending itself, too, with it not having bad guys, essentially, I don't know how to explain this without spoiling it, so I'm going to do the best I can here. Towards the end of the movie, there's a big thing they're going for at the end here, how it ends. Because there's no why to the movie, it feels like, well, why? It feels like it's just something crazy they're doing to say, hey, this is crazy. I didn't feel like there was really a point to what they did by the end of the movie. It just felt shock value almost. So it didn't feel like there was enough purpose to what happens. So I will say that. What else do I want to say? There are definitely some creepy, again, I would call it very Nightcrawler-y. Just moments where you're like, this is gross. And then a particular very disturbing scene. I won't mention anything again. It's kind of, parts of it are kind of shown in the trailer. A very brief scene that is definitely disturbing. And then, yeah, there's just some beautiful stuff shown here. Things with fire looks really cool. And it's just done really well. It's not my favorite of Alex Garland's by any means. This movie is hard to watch. And because of that, I don't know how much I want to ever rewatch this one again. If this is Alex Garland's last movie, I guess I'm glad it didn't end on Men, which was, very all over, not all over the place, very controversial to some, I guess. I hope this isn't his last movie. I want him to do another, something crazy. As far as, science fiction goes, this is his least science fiction-y movie. This is also probably the movie that has, the least, WTF ending, even though the ending is kind of crazy and strange. But yeah, I don't know how else to say anything else. So yeah, other than that, the big issues I think I have with this movie, again, it's just a character moment that kind of just happens for 5 minutes, and it felt like some scenes were missing or something. And then I did have issue kind of just with the ending, in a sense. It just didn't feel as impactful as it wanted it to be, I guess. And also just kind of the fact that it is kind of like this road trip movie. We're going to stop, something's going to happen. We're going to go, something's going to happen. Stop, and then something's going to happen. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again. Chester's looking for food or something. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, in the end, though, I did enjoy this movie. I just don't know how much I want to ever rewatch it again. That's the thing that's really bugging me about it, I guess. I will go 8 out of 10 on this one. 8 out of 10 on this one. I really enjoyed it. I had some issues with it, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Civil War, 8 out of 10 for me on this one. What did you guys think? Let me know. Do all that fun stuff. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. And we'll see you next time.